let's have a little bit of contact there from Stokes. He busts his way back.
Contact.
Into the back of...
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello race fans and welcome to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for today's V8 Supercar America's race presented by V8 Online. I'm JD Smith. Alongside me in the commentary booth this afternoon will be Kane Kraft. We want to let you know that today's broadcast is presented by V8 Online and is brought to you also by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the V8 Online Superstore. Today we're here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, also known as Mosport for some of the old fans. One of Canada's crown jewel tracks enriched with racing history and all forms of racing. Today's race will consist of one race featuring 40 laps around the 2.45 mile 10-turn circuit here. And Kane, I'm really excited about getting this first week underway.
Me too. I've been waiting impatiently for the last week to get through week 13 so that we could get this season started. I'm very anxious. I know that this season is going to be extremely action-packed. From what we've seen at the end of last season and just from different drivers that I've heard from coming into this season, I know that we're going to have an exciting season this time.
We really are. We had just one of, you hit the nail on the head there. It was just one heck of an ending to a season. Once again, we want to congratulate Marlon McMullen for taking the championship on the 2013 Season 4 season. It was just unbelievable. But, guys, it's a new year, a new season. 2014, want to welcome it in with all its glory. And with that comes Season 1 of the V8 Supercar America's season. I know a lot of drivers are really anticipating the start of this season. Cannot wait to get things started already. I want to say that we're going to see this series grow a good bit throughout this season. It's going to be really exciting to see some of the new names we'll see on the track. I know the popularity has just continued to grow, and that's just one of the greatest things that we can just have around is seeing this series grow. I know I'm excited. The V8s deserve to be one of the biggest races in all of sim racing to me, so I'm glad to see it grow. We are in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. What a place to start the season out, Kane. 10 turns around this 2.45, pretty much 2.5 mile circuit. Has a nice undulation on the course, has a lot of different hills, nice little chicane up at the top of one of the hills up there. And one of the keys today is 40 laps. There is going to be some pit strategy involved with the race today, Kane. Yeah,
there is. I heard a little bit about the pit strategy, that there is going to be some pit strategy going into the race, and that always makes for a little bit more exciting race when we got to deal with pit stops. So I'm glad to see that in the first race that they'll have to deal with some pit stops.
That's it. Not only are drivers going to have to worry about the skill in the car, they're going to have to worry about the strategy involved and hope that they have everything mapped out to perfection, and hope that some things, sometimes we have events in races that change our course of plan, and that's what we could have happen here today. But I know a lot of the drivers are real excited to get out there. One of the key things about the pit strategy is one of the slower pit roads that we go to all year long, only 35 miles per hour. That's really, really slow pit speed. And when you're coming around turn 9, that's where you'll find the entrance to pit road here. It can be tricky to get all the way down to 35 miles per hour in this big horsepower machine known as the V8 Supercar. So watch for that to be a factor too. You go ahead and get you a speeding penalty, that's going to hurt really bad. So we'll try to keep an eye on that throughout the race as well. But Kane, we already are excited about the race, but we got a little time until race time. So with some things we want to look back, of course, to last season for a minute and talk about how things ended there. I already
last season was a great finish to a great season, and the final there was at Montreal, and God, we had a great finish.
Man, so many great battles there at Montreal. Of course, one of the big stories was the course cutting. It was very severe, penalized by the race control there. The stewards were very crucial and critical
coming into that final
chicane. Very hard to not get a cutting penalty, and we saw that really affect a lot of the race. But we also saw some really good battles in that race, and you know, that's one of my favorite things about that race is all the battles that it entailed. And right there at the end, we had a three-way battle for, what was it, third place, Kane? It was just unbelievable, the finish. Of course, Chad Chastain ran away with the victory at that race, but man, it was just unbelievable, all the intense battles we had for position, people literally scrapping and jumping and running, trying to scrap for position. It was just really exciting. So I wonder what kind of racing we're going to see here at Canadian Tire Motors Park here today.
I hope it's as close as what we seen last week. I mean, but Marty and Bo and Sanjin last week was just bumper to bumper there, and right at the end there, Marty got a slowdown or something and just left Sanjin and Bo to race to the finish. And that made the finale of that final race so great. I mean, they raced right up to the finish line.
Yeah, I'd actually talked to Marty Kane, and I thought he had a slowdown too, but you know what it actually was? He actually ran out of fuel. He literally, coming around the second to the last turn, ran out of fuel on that back straight. You'll see it here on screen. And look, just take a look, guys. Oh, he just edges him out. Bo Cattell gets the third final spot. We got to throw a big congratulations out for Bo Cattell getting the podium there and gets the official finish. Oh my goodness, it was less than a tenth of a second. What a finish here at Montreal. Gotta say congratulations to the Can-Am Motorsports driver Chad Chastain taking the victory here at Montreal. Also want to congratulate Marlon J. McMullen for his championship season here in 2013 season 4.
And that's how it finished out. Chad Chastain won the race, and Marlon McMullen, of course, won the championship. Great way to cap off a great final race of the season.
Oh man, we couldn't have done it better. It really was a great way to finish. I know a lot of favorites going into this season. When you end like that on a high note, yeah, Chastain really shined at the end of last season. You know, he completely dominated at Watkins Glen. Did another great performance at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in the last week, and I know that he's going to be one of the favorites to defend, or to try to take away the title from Marlon McMullen. But obviously, Marlon McMullen will be a favorite going into the season to defend his championship title, and it's a lot of newcomers coming up to fight too. You know, Marty Carroll, we've seen him run up near the front. We've seen guys like Kurt Stenberg run really fast. I'd like to say that he has a good shot at winning the championship this season as well, Kane. I don't know who some of the guys. There's a lot of
finishing out in second place in the standings, so he ran a hard fought this season. And Michael J. Johnson. I'm trying to think of the name of the team he's on. It just slipped my mind, but he ran a great season and was right up there right to the end. In just the last couple races, he had a couple bad finishes, and that knocked him down into third place. But he's going to be up there this season, vying for that top spot.
Yeah, definitely going to be one to watch out for. Like you said, he had the small little fall off. You know, he has the talent to get it done. I'm sure that he's been practicing real hard in the short off season we've had. I know that he's probably ready to get things started here. And one of the things that I love, Kane, is there's nothing more exciting than week number 1. You're coming into a new season. Right now, everybody's in first place. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Everybody right now is in the same spot. And they're all going to start in first place, and it's a blank sheet of canvas. Write your own story, paint your own picture. The championship is up for grabs. We're going to head to Canadian Tire Motorsport in just a little bit, and we're going to be able to see how this story unfolds. It's going to be just a phenomenal season. So excited, really proud here to be with V8s Online and presenting this season in all its entirety. Really going to be great. So happy that V8's Online is covering the America Series, and we're getting this thing started.
Well, let's talk about V8's Online for a minute. V8's Online has had a couple announcements this week. V8's Online is really having a great 2014 so far. Yeah, we just announced that we picked up the NIS races. For those of you that don't know, that is the NASCAR iRacing series that will run. They run 4 nights a week, and that's the feeder series to the Pro Series. So the top so many guys out of this series will make it into the Pro Series, where they will race to see who's the best that can go into the Drivers' World Championship, or what they call the NASCAR iRacing Series World Championships, and race against the very best of the NASCAR drivers. And so JD and I will be broadcasting that every Wednesday night at what is the 9 o'clock Eastern time slot, and we'll broadcast the top split. So everybody get out your circle track cars, your Gen 6 cars, and get them all painted up for this season's NIS races, because it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, speaking about that NASCAR iRacing series, cannot wait. As you know, I come from an oval background, so excited. It feels like I'm going home to do the NIS series. Very, very excited. A lot of guys really going to be shooting for the stars, trying to get up to those black stripes and become a pro racer. The iRacing service, such a prestigious thing to accomplish. Very hard. You know, a lot of great drivers out there race for a long time and never been able to reach that pro level. So for us to be able to broadcast these guys and see who can make it in, it's going to be an honor to watch these drivers, as we're looking at some of the best of the best. And that's what we have this season. All 26 races will be broadcasted in glorious HD, and I just can't wait to get things started. Things will start. Our first official race will be on February 19th for the Daytona 500. What a way to start the season off, Kane. Can't wait. You guys can check out, look a little bit, look forward to that. Check the iRacing forums. You can always check it, v8online.com, for more on information on that as it comes available. Other things going on around V8's Online as well, Kane. You know, the new show, Short Shift, already had 2 full episodes, and it is fixing to probably release the 3rd soon. And those guys have done such a fantastic job. There's still a few people that have never seen Short Shift, so if you're watching the show right now, I want to tell you about Short Shift. It's just one of the best things that V8's Online is in creating its own hosted show, and they talk about all things sim racing, and what a great job they do. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't seen it yet, but in the last episode they actually went off site and went somewhere that's really neat. Like I said, I won't spoil it, but you just have to go check it out for yourselves. We never know what Jay and Sandman will bring to the table next. They're very entertaining, and I enjoy watching the show, Kane. I'm an avid fan already.
Oh, me too. I can't wait for the next one. This last one was just great. They went to the grid and did some interviews, interviewed Bo Cattell, and Bo is qualifying right now. We might see him in the race tonight, and what a great lap down in the 118. So he's flying tonight. But anyway, back to Short Shift. He did an interview with him there at the grid, and fantastic facility. So they did a great job on this show. Everybody should go check it out. You can get there through Facebook, Facebook.com/V8's Online. You can get to it through there. The videos are posted there, or I believe Facebook.com/ShortShift. So, you know, check out the latest Short Shift video. Expect a lot from the guys on the Short Shift videos. I think they're really going to start bringing those forward with a quite a bit bigger production, I guess is what I want to say. And I think it's really going to be a great addition to V8's Online.
Bucks nights.
Yeah, I think you're right 100%. I think we're going to see short shift really grow here in the upcoming weeks and upcoming months as well. We'll see this show really grow. I'm so excited for things to come. We have some other news around V8's Online as well coming into 2014. We also have a brand new series here, Kane. The brand new GT3 series is starting up as well, and that's going to be real exciting as we have a new series here on V8's Online.
Yeah, that's a new series to iRacing as well, and V8's Online picked it up. They figured it would be a good, exciting series to broadcast. It is going to be the Australian splits, so it will be over in the Australian time zones for those guys that run the GT3 there, and that top split race will be broadcast. I think I don't recall what day. That's a big error on my part for not having that information with me. But yeah, they're going to broadcast that, and I can tell already from the interest that's been brought to that's going to be a great deal for V8's Online and for the racing community.
It really is, Kane. It's going to be just unbelievable. Love the GT3 idea.
Nights. There we go.
There you go.
Nights at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. That's when
there it is.
The race that will be broadcast.
And what fun is that going to be? I can't wait to. I'm sure the guys are going to be really excited. We're going to take on that series and broadcast it. Really exciting. And that series should just continue to grow, Kane, obviously. As soon as iRacing is able to release the BMW, it will be a part of that series as well. And man alive, that's the unbelievable cars right there. How do you pick out of those three? You're going to have a BMW Z4, McLaren MP4, and the Rough. I mean, come on. That's flip a coin and draw straws or something. That's a tough one. But let's get back here to talking about our new season, Kane. Like I said, we got a defending champion in Marlon McMullen, and we got a lot of team news. Got some teams that have reformed and teamed up, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of new paints on the track as well. And that's always fun. I love seeing all the new paints of the new season. A lot of teams really team up together and get these nice new paints, and it's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about the new seasons is usually everybody will come to the track with a brand new fresh paint scheme. A lot of times you see some driver swap teams, stuff like that. That's one of my favorite parts about that first race of the season is finding out who's moved to what team and any of that exciting information.
Yeah, it is great to see that kind of stuff. And I was looking around throughout some practice events, and I know two guys that have started up a team in Nigel Baines and Marty Carroll with Team SDCM Squared. And then I'm also looking at practice right now, guys like John Emerson, Chad Chastain. He's still sporting the Can-Am Motorsports V8. And during practice, we may see a last-minute change before race time, but I don't know. But just a lot of good drivers out there with some killer times. Chad was down in the 118s, guys. That is so fast around Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. So it's going to be real exciting to see this race. I think we're going to get to see a real treat to open our season.
Yeah, I agree.
Mosport. It's something that was kind of new to me coming into. I knew that's as soon as I found out that's where we were going to open up our 2013 season 1 season at. I wanted to look into it a little bit and find out some things about it. And I talked to a good friend of mine who actually grew up not far from there, and he was telling me about some of the great things about it, and he was telling me it's such a great place to go watch it in person. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that hold this track close to their hearts that live around there, and he said it just is a big part of growing up, the history of races. He remembers going there with his dad back in the 70s and seeing cars coming up and wrecking right before the chicane there, or the I don't know what you call that part. I gotta look it up, but it's the track's changed since then a little bit, and can't wait to get it. Like I said, 2.5 miles, 10 turns here, and like I said, a lot of different quick elevation changes. Going to be really fun. The back stretch on this thing is unbelievable. It should be a huge passing opportunity, even though it's an uphill elevation climb. These V8s, it's nothing for them to be able to come up that back, and catch a draft. So look for these V8s to, if they're riding in a pack, to utilize that draft for overtaking opportunities. I think you're going to see a lot of that today as well. And we should be heading over and getting some images from the track here in about 3 minutes, guys. About 3 to 5 minutes. We'll be live at the track and have the starting grid information soon. And I'm getting excited, Kane. I'm getting really excited to get this thing started.
Yeah, me too. It's been a long wait. I've been waiting for what feels like forever for this race to get here. Since the day after the finale, I've been waiting for the new season to get here. I'm excited for the action that this season's going to bring. I know it's going to be a very action-packed season, and so I am excited and impatiently waiting for that 3 minutes to hurry up and click by.
Me too, and I think one of the anticipating things about it, Kane, is with the added growth of this league, it's gonna be fun to see who's going to start making it up into that top split, where iRating becomes a really big factor on who will make it up into that top split. It's really going to be interesting to see week in and week out who will be able to make it into the broadcast split. And that's kind of a big thing that's going to, I think we'll see develop as the season goes along, is we'll have to start seeing who's able to get in that split. There will be some names that will be new to us, that we haven't seen. And there'll also be some names that we may miss. Like, hey, where's so-and-so? And they had a slight fall off in iRating. They may have fallen down into second split. So that's going to be something to look out for too, Kane, as we take on this new season.
Yeah, that's true. I think we'll see several drivers that will make their way up into that top split and start giving these guys, a little bit more of a challenge. I think what we'll also see is we'll see some drivers come into the series that hasn't before raced with the V8 Supercars Americas, and we'll be giving these guys a challenge as well.
Yeah, I know we've seen some big names in the past, Kane. Guys like Nick Ottinger come in here and test his skill in the V8 Supercar Americas series. I think Shane Van Gisbergen's made his appearance several times in this series. And, just testing the waters. And I think that'll continue to happen. You'll see a lot of new faces in as the popularity of the V8 Supercar America Series continues to grow. And that's just a great feeling right there, buddy. Once again, in Bowmanville, Canada and Ontario, 3 reasons you're going to love this race is number 1, it's a great track. Number 2, it's week 1. And number 3, we're racing again, folks. I'm ready to go. I think it's about that time to head over to get things started. So it won't be long, and we should have some pictures up on the screen for you guys here shortly. And it's going to be exciting, Kane, to see who made it up into the race this week. It's like seeing your old friends. When you used to go back to school, you'd want to go see all your friends again, and that's how I feel right now. We're about to go see all these great drivers and see how they do this season.
Yeah, they just finished up with qualifying, and of the current qualifying session, which they were able to qualify all week long, and so I'm not real sure who will be fitting where on the total thing till we get into the server. But of that final qualify session, Bo Cattell turned out a blistering 118.715 on the timesheet. And
boy!
Sam Collins got the second place spot there with, I'm sorry, that was a 118.636 for Bo and a 118.885 for Sam. And San Jan was flying too with a 119.02.
Boy, I tell you what, that Sanjay Delilah, I've seen him really, really grow as a driver as of late. He just continues to get faster and faster and faster, literally within the week. I mean, it is just unbelievable how fast he's been over the past few weeks. Really going to be exciting to see. Well, right now I see we got 2 full splits right now, Kane, of 21 drivers apiece for tonight's event at Mosport. Golly, let's get in there.
The interesting thing to note about the 2 splits is I've seen in the top split a mix of Australian drivers and American drivers. What we've seen a couple times last season is it splits them by location, and that really caused a problem for the drivers because you weren't pitting the best against the best at that point. You were pitting the best Americans against the Americans, or whoever would fit into that American server bracket, and then all the Australians would get their own server, and it really seemed unfair to a lot of the drivers that they didn't get to participate in that race. And this season we're seeing so far that it's not working out that way. It seems like they're putting the best drivers in the server to race against each other.
Yeah, I'm seeing already, looking at names like Chad Chastain, Marty Carroll, Tony Klusterman in the top split today. It's going to be really fun to see who's going to be able to qualify where. And like I said, we'll have that information for you in just a moment, as pictures should be popping up any minute. And golly, let's get this thing started. 40 laps, guys. Once again, I do want to say I'm J.D. Smith. Alongside me is Kane Kraft. We are brought to you by V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and the always great V8's Online Superstore. And we're fixing this is week 1, guys. For those that may have just joined us, like I said, this is it. We're all in first place. Everybody is even right now. So today's a great place to jump the most positions you'll be able to jump all season. So if you want to jump up into that first position right off the get-go, I hope you practiced. You had a great 2 full weeks of practice, and I tell you, a lot of the guys have been practicing hard for this week. You know me, Kane. I like to go check out the practice sessions all throughout the week, and I'll talk to some of the drivers, and I get in there and pretend like I can drive. And I've seen a lot of these guys in the practice sessions a lot. And so I think we're going to see some heck of racing. And look at here, guys doing warm-up right now. And just looking at some of the warm-up times, Bo Cattell again, Kane, is on top of that list. Bo Cattell with a time just in warm-up, folks, of 119.4. Really fast there in the Galaxy Note Ford. Going to be fun to see Bo Cattell in this race.
Yeah, Bo's really stepped it up toward the end of last season, and he's been flying. So Bo Cattell is definitely one to watch tonight.
Yeah, it is. We do have our grid information, and I'll go ahead and get started out. Our pole sitter for this race is going to be John Emerson, and glad to see John Emerson there on the pole. And sitting on the outside pole will be the number 5 car in the Can-Am Motorsports of Chad Chastain. He will be starting in 2nd. In 3rd, we will see Bo Cattell with Chris Stone in 4th. Nigel Baines will be in the 5th position with Sam Collins in 6th. Corey Preston will be in the 7th position with Sanjay Delilah in 8th. 9th will belong to Michael Fulcher and Marlon McMullen in 10th. Kane, we're about to get the race started, buddy.
Yeah, it's getting ready to go green.
So, can you say we're welcome, guys, to a brand new season here in V8 Supercar America? I will turn it over to Kane Kraft to get us started. They're revving.
Yeah, they are off. Looks like Chad got a good jump, but not as good as John Emerson. Gone out to the front. Chad tucked in right behind, and the leaders got off to a great start.
We have Bo Cattell tucked in nicely in 3rd as well. Stone back in the 4th position. in the OCAU Overclockers car. Nigel Baines in the SDC. Spotty Dog Cake Marston Ford Falcon in 5th. That is how the top 5 rides currently. Great field, no problem so far. Here we are on lap number 1 of 40. They're singling up, single file line. This is what you want to see in a long race. They're not going to be too aggressive too early. They're just falling in line, and it's time to set up some nice battle for position. Speaking of that,
everybody's got a clean race off the start, and it looks like they're preparing for a long race.
Yeah, definitely so. In an early battle already was Sanjin Delilah looking ahead to the champion of last season, Marlon J. McMullen. They were battling real closely there for a second, but they did tuck in behind one another, and that was the battle for, it should be the 6th position, 7th?
I'm showing Sanjin in the 8th right now, but until they cross the line, it's hard to say for sure.
Yeah, Marlon was really in 7th, so that is how they were running at the time. It was hard to see there for a second. Going back up front right now, Nigel Baines in the number 11 Marsden Motorsport car, trying to catch up Chris Stone there in the Overclockers Ford Falcon. Almost went to the outside for a second and is going to think twice and just tuck back in. A great little battle here. This is great. Looking ahead to Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell battling for the 2nd position. This is going to be a great battle as well. We're going to definitely want to keep our eyes in the 2nd position. Currently, John Emerson.
That new paint scheme, the new sponsor that NZ Motorsports. And Bo moving to his new team, ANZ Motorsports. Forgot about that. That was one of the driver moves this year. Moved to a new team. Bo Cattell moved to his new team, ANZ Motorsports. And at the same time, NZ picked up their new sponsor. So both of those great to see. New team picking up a new sponsor, and the driver picking up a new team. Congratulations to Bo on that. That's a fantastic move, and well deserved.
Yeah, that really is, Kane. I'm happy to see that. That is good. That is really good news to see for Bo. Real happy for him there. John Emerson still in the lead. Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell still battling out for position here on the start of lap 3 of 40, guys.
John Emerson having a great race so far tonight. I really am glad to see John come back and race in the series again. He had mentioned he may not be driving the VA Supercar for a while, and I'm glad to see that he at least changed his mind, at least even if it's just temporarily, because God, he really picked up the pace toward the last half of that season, and he was given the front runners of the main series there, so serious competition.
Yeah, he really was, and I wanted to go through a quick rundown of the field so some guys can hear some of the names throughout. Right now, John Emerson is in the lead with Chad Chastain currently in 2nd. Bo Cattell is currently in the 3rd place position. 4th is going to belong to Chris Stone currently, and then after Chris Stone, 5th place is held by Nigel Baines. In the Spotty Dog Cake Marsden Ford Falcon, Sam Collins currently in 6th with Sanjin Delilah currently in 7th. 8th place is going to go to Mark Anderson in the Kamikaze Racing Team Ford. Good looking paint there. That's another new one. Michael Schreier is another new one in the LED Innovations Darrell Lee paint scheme. That is a killer looking paint right there. He's currently in 9th. Michael Fulcher is currently in 10th. He has a little bit of damage to the right side of his Kamikaze Racing team and the front. That's really been up there. Marty Carroll's back in the 14th spot. He's in the Marsden Motorsport Spotty Dog Cake Ford Falcon. Michael Yo, we've seen him do a killer job as well in growth. He's currently in 12th. Back in 13 is the NQR Team Racing driver Tony Klusterman in 13th. Matthew Burnett is back in 14th with Dave Meyer in 15th in the Cooper's Clear Ford Falcon. In 16th is Randolph Chinworth. He's currently in the www.morgan .com. That's a cool looking scheme as well. Aaron Passmore is in the Pepsi Max Ford Falcon. He's in 17th. 18th is going to go to Chris Bean. He's in the HPR. We've seen the HPR team do great things over the past. He's back in 18th. And Old Bones Finland is back in the 19th position, and he's in the HPR as well. Marlon McMullen back in 20th, Kane. Something happened to Marlon, and it's not pretty. He's back in 20th, 1 lap down currently. Corey Preston is in 21st. He is also 1 lap down. He's in 21st.
Yeah, that's a shame to see that Marlon got into some trouble right at the beginning of the race. Maybe I can go back and see if I can find what exactly happened.
Yeah, that was, maybe we can try to find a race recall replay when we do. That was really something there, Kane. I hate that happening, but I tell you what, in the meantime, John Emerson doing a really good job, having no fear right now with Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell both breathing down the neck, going around the final turn here at Mosport towards the start-finish line. John gets a great jump off of that final turn. Here they go into the right-hander, swooping into the right downhill. Great view there of the changes in elevation here at Mosport. It looks flat when you're on the road, but sometimes you can really get a good view with a nice camera angle. It'll help you see this place is not flat by any means. And right now, they are just, I'm talking about, it's almost like they're driving in a formation, Kane. The top 3 cars all in line, and they are literally within a car length of each other right now. Great race for first place.
Yeah, whenever I seen the lineup, I knew that the race at the front was going to be the race to watch, and it's proven to be so. Chad Chastain is really putting the pressure on John Emerson, and Bo Cattell is not letting them get away.
No, Bo Cattell right there with him, and I want to look at the number 8 in the Overclockers Ford Falcon. Chris Stone's not that far behind, guys. Doing a good job. This is a 40-lap race with pit strategy involved. I think everybody that's in the top 10 right now has a chance to make a win out of this race. And right now we got some action as, look at the front, Chad Chastain trying to go side by side. He's going to go to the inside. He will get the pass on John Emerson. Bo Cattell might try to make a move as well. We're 3 wide going towards the start-finish line, Kane.
Yeah, they got a little slippery there, and that kind of scrubbed off some speed and let Bo Cattell get up in there too. And now they're really having to fight just to keep their position. But Chad made the move, and what a great move it was. Put him out into the lead, and now John Emerson's going to have to play catch-up.
Yeah, John Emerson's going to have to hold off Bo Cattell because he's going to have to watch out for that third-place driver, Bo Cattell. If you're looking on screen in the number, in the number 3, the LED Innovations, also the Galaxy Note car. This thing is unbelievable. 3-way battle for first, and great job by Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motors Ford Falcon to jump ahead of John Emerson like that. Very scary moment there, though. We're going 3 wide, Kane, towards the start-finish line. My goodness, I can see this race ending like that. We're in for one hell of a treat. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, these guys are making sure that we get one heck of a show.
Yeah, right now, Bo Cattell trying to put some persuasive, or just trying to put a little note in the head of John Emerson, making sure that his hood stays in that rearview mirror. He is definitely peeking in there everywhere he can. He's just saying, hey, John, I just want to let you know I'm here, buddy. Just in case John decides to ease up, he knows that he's got Bo Cattell right there. So watch that battle as it unfolds.
Back a little further in the pack, Michael Schreier is really putting the pressure on Mark Anderson for the 8th place spot. He's within half a second of getting a pass made there. And,
yeah, definitely
new
a good
sponsor, Darrell Lee car. Multi 21 picked up Darrell Lee as a sponsor over the break and got him a new car paint, which looks fantastic. Great job to those guys.
And Marlon McMullen trying to make up some pace any way he can. But he's just far back right now. We'll have to see if he can find a way to get back up. I wonder if it'd have been too early for him to make a pit stop, Kane.
I think he had to make one. He was in the pits. I think he probably had to get some repairs done. But yeah, he wouldn't have pitted for tires. He had an off track, so I think he must have found a barrier somewhere. I tried to go back, but my control is a little goofed up and it wouldn't take me back from that screen, so wasn't able to go back and see what happened to him. We'll just have to maybe top turn in the post race and see what happens.
No problem there. John Emerson really has his hands full with Cattell. Bo is not letting up an inch right there. John Emerson actually gets a tire off. No problem though, as John Emerson continues on forward, but Bo was really on him there for a second. He eased off when he seen Bo go off track. Saw John Emerson go off track there for a second. But right here, you see him again getting out in that rearview mirror, making sure that he knows that he's there, trying to put any kind of pressure on John Emerson he can. Bo Cattell knows this is a 40-lap race, and this is really good. In the meantime, Chad Chastain doing everything he can in his power to get every inch of breathing room he can away from John Emerson. He knows how dangerous the number one can be there, and a good time Ford Falcon and John Emerson. Nigel Baines currently has his hands full as well, Kane. Sam Collins coming up there, coming up behind the Marston Spotty Dog Cake Ford Falcon as well. And Sam Collins, no stranger to speed, he's coming up on Nigel Baines, and this could be a really good battle to crack into the top 5 for Sam.
Yeah, and it's good news for Nigel that it is Sam back there. We know that Sam Collins is such a good, clean racer that if I was going to have anybody riding on my bumper, Sam Collins is probably one of the drivers that I'd pick, because he is such a clean, technical driver that you can feel safe with him behind you and know that you're not going to get pushed off the track.
Yeah, and he actually, Nigel Baines, had a slight slide of the tires, was able to not, keep it from going out of control, but definitely thought we might see Sam tuck out to the outside and try to make an overtake. Was not able to do so though, but still a very tight battle there for 5th position.
Michael Schreier still putting the pressure on Mark Anderson, and boy, he has got close a couple of times to getting around him now as they go through that treacherous turn 2. And
tell you another battle we're fixing to have, Kane, is back in the 11th position, battling for the top 10 spot. We're about to have Michael Yo battling with Marty Carroll for 10th. And this is going to be a great battle. We've seen Michael Yo do some fantastic things of late. We've also seen Marty Carroll battle up in top 3s as well. Both these drivers extremely talented. And gotta love the new paint scheme by the Spotty Dog Cake Marston guys as well. Those look really good. And Michael Yo, we saw him in Race of Champions, and boy, he put on a fantastic show in those roughs as well. And here he is back in the VA Supercar, where he's comfortable in this thing, and he's showing it right now, trying to get into the top 10.
Yeah, this whole race, he's been putting the pressure on. He's been racing with, he hasn't had any reservations. He's maybe got a little confidence from that Race of Champions, and he's definitely been racing with a lot more confidence today, because he's been sticking right with these guys and putting that nose right in there. So I expect to see a lot bigger things from Michael Yo this season.
John Emerson making his way back towards the 1st position, right on the tail end of leader Chad Chastain in that Can-Am Motorsports Ford. And this is another battle for the lead here. This is this week 1, we're battling for the lead on lap 11, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about here at V8 Supercar Americas. Unbelievable. You got the Can-Am Motorsport machine trying to lead the way. John Emerson's going to try to poke his head out to get a little fresh air. Not going to be able to make a move, as Chad has a great speed coming down through this 3rd sector of this track. And a good job by Chad Chastain to not give an inch. He really did a good job of not giving an inch to John Emerson, because if you give John Emerson an inch, he's gone.
Bo Cattell tucked into the pits there, so that's interesting to see him go into the pits.
Yeah, that's a little early stop. Yeah, we're going to have to mark that down, and I'm going to look at that later. We'll mark that down. Bo Cattell pits going off of lap 12. That is going to be interesting come later in the race to see if that helps or hurts Mr. Bo Cattell.
15.6 seconds on the pit stop for Bo.
Really good pit time for Bo. It makes you wonder if he got enough gas there.
Michael Yo still putting the pressure on Marty for the 9th place. Marty's caught up now pretty close there to Mark Anderson, who's still who Michael Schreier's finally got around him, so that battle's finished itself out with Michael Schreier getting around.
Yeah, now Mark Anderson, you said it right there, but he has his hands full with the number 14 Spotty Dog Cake Marston driver of Marty Carroll and Michael Yo. It's bad enough when you have Marty on your tail, but you got Marty and Michael on your tail, you're in trouble. And I give him credit, though. Mark Anderson doing a good job there in the KRT Kamikaze Ford Falcon, holding off these guys. And he actually just put a little bit of space in between them again. Not much, but just a little bit. It's going to be fun to see. Is this going to be a four-way battle for really looking at 7th position at the top of this four drivers? Michael Schreier, hey, look at there. I just noticed something, Kane. Look at the front end. Look at the bonnet there on Michael Schreier's LED Innovations car. Also, the new paint as well, but he's got quite a bit of damage there. That I wonder if that's going to cause any problems. So far, it hasn't caused any problems at all in the Darrell Lee Ford Falcon, but that's definitely some pretty decent damage there.
Yeah, looks like he might have bumped into maybe Mark there at some point, but that damage don't seem to be affecting him none. He's definitely pulling away, so must not be affecting the handling.
Yeah, it looks like he's
you got to give it to Mark though. He's racing with some very good, intense drivers right there, and he's riding right with them. So, you know, good race to Mark. He's really holding his own there with some of the best drivers in the V8 Supercars Americas series. So, he's doing a great job for being new to the series this year.
Very good. Right now, Chad Chastain's still out in front. He's got about a little over a half a second lead over John Emerson in the Good Time Ford Falcon. What a great job, both these guys, of almost to the midway point of lap 14, and what a race we have going so far. The 3rd place driver, Bo Cattell, earlier he was in 3rd, did make the early pit stop, and Bo Cattell is listed back in 15th position and doing well, guys. He's fixing to be coming up on Dave Maher in the number 12 car. This is going to be a fun battle as soon as it happens, as Bo Cattell tries to make his way back up through the field with the early stop. If you're Bo Cattell right now, Kane, what do? Do you push back towards the front, or do you just try to be consistent and save those tires? I mean, those tires got to last you the rest of the race.
I think, they did a little bit to the tires on this last build, and when I was doing a little testing through the week, I noticed that the tires seemed to be holding out pretty good. So if I was Bo, I would be pushing. I'd push as hard as I could to try to catch up any ground that I may have lost pitting so soon. But I'm definitely not a team strategist by any means. I just that's probably what I would do. Whether or not it's the right choice, I can't tell you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see. That's very interesting. Like I said, he will be coming up on Dave Maher in the Cooper's Ford Falcon soon. Dave currently in 14th, and that's small time damage to his Ford, but doing just fine. Bo coming up at a nice pace. Dave put down a lap time of 119.88 on his last lap, and Bo put down a staggering 119.17, so making up almost a second a lap. He should be up there pretty fast.
Interesting and point. Chad Chastain has ducked off to the pits and has completed his pit stop. Now he's fallen back to the 4th position.
Well, with that happening, that will put John Emerson back out in first place.
Position. Sorry, Chad fell back to the 12th position.
With the overclockers Ford Falcon of Chris Stone taking 2nd place. That also will put Sam Collins in 3rd place.
Leader ducked into the pits. John Emerson's now into the pits.
Oh, big news. We'll have to keep an eye on John to make sure he makes it through the pits just fine, doesn't overrun his pit stall or anything of that nature, and looks like he's doing fine. Of course, he has that front pit stall, Kane, so that's always a huge beneficiary to have that. Looks like Michael Yo's making his way down pit lane as well. And this is how, ever since the gone into the pits, John Emerson just now leaving pit road, Kane. Wonder what kind of time he had there. And he's going to come out right beside Dave Meyer and Bo Cattell. Oh, wow, this is going to be fun. Actually got put in between Dave Meyer and Bo Cattell. So John Emerson coming right out in front of Bo Cattell where they went in. That's pretty awesome right there, Kane. And finally, Bo Cattell will make the pass. Dave Meyer will let both drivers by. And look who's coming up behind. It's Chad Chastain in the number 12. Can-Am Motorsport Ford Falcon. All three have made their pit stops, and this is great. The biggest, I guess Chad had to have had quite a bit of slower time as he's fallen back to the, behind these two, a nice little bit, about 5 or 6 lengths.
Yeah,
and that's going to.
His actual pit time is not that far off, but the in lap and the out lap must have been off just enough to put him back about maybe a full second.
That's what I was going to mention, Kane. I'm glad that you said that, because I was going to mention this. The pit speed here is 35 miles per hour. To get the Ford Falcon down to that speed, you got to be. Tony Klusherman just went in the pits as well, guys. I thought you'd like to know that, as well as Sammy Collins. But it's tough to get down to that 35 mile per hour mark, Kane, and you mentioned it in the out lap and in lap. Going into the pits, you can lose a lot of time if you cut down the power too early. And of course, if you cut it down too late, you're going to speed on pit road. So glad you mentioned that. Right now, it looks like Dave Meyer about made a move on Chad Chastain for, right there as well. So Chad really needing to get on the speed again to catch up to these guys. He's not too far behind him, Kane. They're still in, almost a troublesome moment there for Dave Meyer as he gets 2 wheels into the gravel. But he's fine. He didn't get it all in the dirty stuff. He's quite all right back on the road, and behind Chad Chastain there, not too far behind. But we got a new leader, Kane. It is Chris Stone up there in the Overclockers Ford Falcon. He is number 8 here in the race today.
Yeah, he'll have to duck off into the pits probably, in the next lap or two, and that will clear the pitting order for the front couple guys there, now that Nigel's pitted. So it looks like there may be still one more guy left to pit to clear.
Hey, Kane, check out this battle. Marty Carroll and Mark Anderson battling for position side by side for just a moment. They got a slow car right in front of them off the pace, and that car was the Pepsi Max car of saw it, can't get the name. The Pepsi Max car. I want to say Aaron Passmore.
Yeah, Aaron Passmore.
I just didn't want to do it wrong, but yeah, the Aaron Passmore, they're off pace, and both cars obviously get around just fine. Nigel is back out on the track, guys. Nigel Baines back out on the track and back on pace after his pit stop. Marty Carroll side by side with Mark Anderson. Here they are going in to the right-hander, and Marty Carroll will get the advantage and make the pass. They were side by side, and what a move by Marty Carroll to get ahead there. That was a really exciting moment. I love the door-to-door action across the start-finish line. Marty Carroll has passed, and he is our current second-place driver, and what a good job there by Marty Carroll in the Marston Spotty Dog Cake Ford Falcon.
Yeah, both drivers electing to stay out another lap and get a little closer to the halfway point.
John Emerson and Bo Cattell have made their ways back up to 4th and 5th place. Chad Chastain is back in 6th, guys, as well. Watch these guys as when everybody pits, John Emerson should be your leader. So we'll try to keep an eye on these three as they were our 3 leaders going into pit. Man, Marty Carroll still battling it out with Mark Anderson there in the Kamikaze Ford Falcon. Mark Anderson giving Marty Carroll every bit of his business right now. He is all up in that rearview mirror, Kane, and this is what it's all about. You got a Marston Motorsport car and a Kamikaze Ford, both of them battling it out on the track. Both got 2 new teams formed up, and great stuff.
Yeah, Mark's been doing a great job this race. He's racing.
Oh, trouble for Passmore. He gets loose, Kane. Sorry, did not mean to cut you off there. I saw him get swirly. He is still spinning up near the front in a big bang. Tony Klusterman's going to have to duck to get out of the way, as well as John Emerson and Bo Cattell and Chad Chastain. He's still waiting to get on track, Kane. He finally just had to tow it.
Recall replay and see as he gets loose there on the front stretch. Ends up into the concrete barrier there, and then even down into the steel barriers, and then he just has to wait for a way to get clear so he can get onto the track.
Yeah, I hate that for Aaron Passmore there, and I love the livery. I love that Mark Winterbottom. I guess it could be the Will Davison livery as well, but I love it, man. That's actually my favorite V8 Supercar livery, and I hate to see it get bent up there, but he did a good job making sure that nobody else was involved in that incident, Kane. So definitely a good job by Aaron to make sure he stayed out of all that. And
Bo Cattell is still right there with John Emerson, letting him know that he's not going to run away like he did last time. He's sticking right there with him.
Marty Carroll currently in the pits, so he's another one that is making his way down pit road. We want to keep an eye, as this is a big pit stop as well. Right now, here comes John Emerson in company right behind him. And Chris Stone still out in the lead. Kaney still hasn't made that pit stop. He's on a different strategy than the other top 5 guys, as we see the Overclockers Ford Falcon just out there all by itself. You know, I think this is a good strategy by Chris Stone. Let me tell you why, Kane. Everybody else has made that pit stop, but right now Chris Stone has open traffic, nobody around him. He can literally run quality type laps here and has nobody in his way. No lap traffic, no current traffic. He can really make up some really good times right now and doesn't have to worry about the added pressures of battle.
And this is exactly what he's doing. He's running some pretty decent laps, and he's put a 15-second gap between he and second place. So when it comes time for him to duck into the pits, he's going to have 15 seconds to get into the pits and get into his stall and get a head start on that pit stop before the other guys start showing up. And I would be really interested to see where he comes out of the pits.
Yeah, I will too. This is a really good strategy. I would say he would probably be going into the pits somewhere within the next 6 to 7 laps. But I don't see a rush right now. As long as he doesn't run, you know, he still should be fine on fuel for at least another 10 laps, I'd say. Maybe 10 laps. He's probably about to got another 8 or 9 in the tank safely. But, yeah, you're going to see him probably pit somewhere around lap 28, 29. Maybe before then, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. But I think right now the strategy has run out very nicely. He's able to run really fast laps. His last lap was only 119.65, and I say only because with the no
Tony
traffic.
Klusterman off into the grass. Oh, into the wall. Hard for Tony.
Oh, Tony Klusterman in the Never Quit Racing Ford Falcon. We're going to have to get a race recall replay on that one to see what happened to Tony Klusterman.
Looks like he's getting over here to let John Emerson by and let the leaders go, and he just got a wheel off into the grass, and off he goes, and right into the tire barrier. That grass didn't slow him down at all, and he hit the tire barrier pretty hard. He did hit it square, so he might be able to get back around and get into the pits, but I don't know. He hit pretty hard.
Yeah, Kane. He's attempting to get it around into the pits without using the toe, but man, that heat. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard of an impact that was. That really did some damage to the suspension in that V8. It's definitely going to need full repairs.
Luckily, it didn't slow down John Emerson or Bo Cattell any. They're still charging away with the
second and third place right now, buddy.
Second and third place till Chris Stone pits, and Chris Stone's still charging away.
Yeah, Chris Stone with about a 24-second or 25-second lead over these guys. This is really, really benefiting him right now. Kane, he may be able to get in the pits really fast, get out, and still fall in maybe third place, fourth, maybe fifth. It's going to be fun.
The more gap he gets there, the better his chances of getting a good position out of this race. And it's Yeah, so far it's looking really good for Chris.
It is. He needs to find a way to run a little faster time, though, Kane. John Emerson with a 119.5 on the last lap and a 119.8 for Chris Stone. So right now, John Emerson currently slowly but closing in on leader Chris Stone. He really needs to try to make up some time here, and he has an even slower lap this time with a 120 flat almost. He's got to find some time soon. John Emerson coming across here now. We'll see what his lap time is as he comes across the finish line right now, and he had a time of 119.3, almost a second faster. The tires got to be wearing out. I think that's what we're seeing happen to Chris Stone right now, Kane. Maybe time to hit the pits.
Both tail off into the dirt just enough to throw up the dirt and maybe get a little loose there and lose a little bit of time, but still able to manage to keep it on the track for the most part and stay ahead of Chad there. But he is getting a little slippery. We might be seeing some tire loss there for Bo Cattell.
Yeah, good news for Chad Chastain as he's able to close in a little closer, and what that's going to allow is right now here you see him going around the straightaway and are coming around to the straightaway. Now you'll see Chad Chastain be able to take advantage of the draft off of Bo Cattell's Ford Falcon. This is a great thing for Chad because if Chad can pop ahead of Bo, he then has a chance to fight on towards the front at John Emerson.
Yeah, and if Bo's tires are going like they appear to be, I definitely think we'll see Chad. He's got quite a bit fresher tires. I think we'll be able to see him catch and get around Bo if Bo's tires continue to diminish.
Yeah, Bo may have made that pit stop way too early. Remember, I told you I was going to make a note of it there on lap 12. Bo Cattell into the pit stall, and that was the earliest pit stop we saw out of the front runners, and it may be taking effect here. We're only on lap 25 of 40, folks, so he's still got a long way to go on those tires.
Michael Yo put in the pressure on Matthew Burnett in front of him, and he's within 0.2 of a second there. He's probably going to be trying to make that move very soon.
Right now, leader Chris Stone with about a 24-second lead or 23.5-second lead over John Emerson. He's got to make that pit stop. He'll be coming up on lap number 26. Will we see him duck into the pits, or will we see him try to push another lap? Guys, he's going to push another lap. He's enjoying this free road, and I don't blame him. He's got the open road to, a less chance of something bad happening, and he's just smooth and running it. Definitely the last one to pit is Chris Stone.
Yeah, but at the same time, as we've seen with Bo Cattell's tires, the same have got to be true. Even worse for Chris Stone on his tires. So
he just pulled a 119.95, so he's still kind of slower. John Emerson putting down a 119.2, so he's almost losing a second a lap, Kane. I agree with you. He needs to pit soon if he's going to make this worthwhile.
I'm liking his strategy, though. It's got him 23 seconds ahead of second place John Emerson for the time being, and that's pretty good.
Unless he's the world's best fuel saver.
Nah, he's going to have to pit.
Oh, yeah, that would be...
Because John Emerson is probably one of the best fuel savers. That's pretty I would say arguably John Emerson is one of the best when it comes to fuel saving. And if he pit, you got to pit. Yep, there he goes. Chris Stone into the pits.
I tell you what, while Chris Stone is pitting, I do want to say a tough opening week for our defending champ, Marlon J. McMullen. Off track and done for the day. Hate to see that as he is in the garage, and he's just going to drop back, punt, and try again next week. Michael Fulcher, another one of those drivers, alongside Corey Preston as well. So a tough break. Currently, Aaron Passmore not on the track as well. And the only two drivers, this is kind of hard to believe, but showing you how the talent is grown in the league. Only two cars that are on the track are not on the lead lap. That is the number 20 Never Quit Racing Ford Falcon of Tony Klusterman and Graham Bones filling in the number 17 High Performance Racing Ford Falcon.
Chris Stone slotting back out. Looks like he's going to slot out in fourth position. So great job to Chris. That was a pretty good strategy. Got him back out into 4th, and I think he was back in maybe 5th, or he may have been in 4th or 5th before the pit stops started. So maybe it wasn't that big of a gain after all.
Tell you what I like though, Kane. It may not have been that big of a gain, but here it is. It's only lap 27, Kane, and guess what? Chris Stone has the freshest tires on this track. He can move it. He didn't have to put as much fuel in as the other guys. We don't know how much he ended up putting in here, but I'm hoping that if he made this strategy, Kane, he already had this in the books. He knew what he was going to play and how he was going to play it. So if Chris Stone did it wise, he's not only going to have fresher tires than everybody else, but if he put less fuel in, obviously he should still have about the same fuel level. His car may be the same weight as these other guys who burn off the fuel, but he has the better tires. Watch out for Chris Stone if he can put down these killer laps here. About to find out. He just made his out lap. Here we are, starting lap 28 for Chris Stone, back in 4th place.
Chad Chastain managed to get around Beau Cattell, as we kind of figured he might, as Beau Cattell's tires did seem to start dwindling away there, and but Beau is sticking with him. Chad may have got around him, but Beau hasn't given him any room to spare. Beau is sticking right with him.
And while that's all going on, John Emerson in the good time Ford Falcon has broken away to a great almost 3-second lead over Chad Chastain and Beau Cattell. This really is a big gain for John Emerson, and I know it's got to be all smiles up there in that blue Ford Falcon as he has a nice lead over Chad Chastain and Beau. John just needs to race his kind of race now. You already said he's great at fuel saving. I know I've seen it time and time again, Kane, and I know you have as well. Once John Emerson gets a lead like this, it is hard to track him down.
Let's run through the positions here. In 1st place, we got John Emerson, who is starting to pull away a little bit from Chad Chastain and Beau Cattell, who's in 3rd. Chris Stone's in 4th. Sam Collins in 5th. Nigel Baines having a good race in 6th place. Sanjin Delalix in 7th. Michael Schreier in 8th. He's gained 7 places to get himself up into 8th place. Mark Anderson's in 9th with a 3-place gain. Marty Cattell is up into 10th from 14th. Michael Yo's gained 6 positions to be in the 11th place, and Matthew Burnett's gained 7 positions to be in the 12th position. Chris Beans in 13th. Dave Mayers in 14th. Randolph Chenoweth is in 15th. Graham Bones Phelan is in 16th. Tony Kluserman's in 17th. Aaron Passmore in 18th. Michael Fulcher in 19th. And Marlon J. McMullen round out the top 20.
Yeah, tough break for the defending champ here in week 1 as he's off the track and done for the day. And I mentioned it a little earlier, but just a tough break there for Marlon. He does have the added benefit of the drop week, so he can look forward to next week and come back with some good racing next week. So not too many worries for the Marlon McMullen fans out there. He can still come back and fight really well in this season.
Chad Chastain managing to pull away quite a bit from Beau Cattell, who is still sliding around doing pretty good, but still managed to turn some great laps.
Yeah, you know, I'm just thinking if Beau Cattell's sliding around that much already, which really he's not, if he's able to hang with Chad Chastain this consistently, his tires are still there, but obviously they've worn out, and he didn't pit that much earlier than Chad Chastain, so it's kind of like, yeah, he pitted early, but man, this should be happening around near the end of the race. We still got 10 to go, man, almost 11 to go.
Yeah, he's got a lot of slipping and sliding. That, you know, from what I'm watching, he is sliding quite a bit.
And there he goes, Kane, off the track. He is off the track. Could have been really bad. That's going to cost him a lot of time. There goes the battle with Chad Chastain. He's going to have Chris Stone to worry about soon. Tough break there for Beau Cattell. Lost a lot of time there getting off the track. Did a good job saving it and keeping it out of the barrier.
Yeah, you're right. Chris Stone's only 5 seconds back, and if another off track like that for Beau Cattell, and Chris will be right there on his bumper looking to take over that position. So Beau needs to settle her down a little bit and make sure he can keep it on the tarmac and keep some forward
trouble,
momentum
Kane.
going.
trouble. Marty Carroll smoking something terrible in pit road. I want to go back and see if we can find out what happened to Marty. It is terrible how bad he is smoking. That engine may be blown.
See if I can go back a little bit and see if I can find what happened to Marty on the race recall replay.
It happened right at the end of lap number 29 for Marty, coming towards the start-finish line. Oh. Wait, when you see it, you'll just understand. Oh, man. As the race recall gets going.
Oh, yeah, he spun it around there right into the barrier and definitely damaged the radiator. So, big damage for Marty Carroll as he lost it coming out of the last turn and nosed it into the wall. Sorry to see that for Marty.
Yeah, that's a tough break for Marty Carroll. His teammates still doing quite well. Up in the 6th position, Nigel, he's trying to catch up to Sammy Collins up there. Sam Collins has done a phenomenal job all race long. Been battling for that top 5 position all race long with Nigel Baines, and here they are still battling it out. But Sam has a nice little lead over Nigel right now, and he's quite comfy up there in 5th place.
Yeah, Sam is doing a good job, as he usually does. He's proven to be a good, clean, quick driver. So, congrats to Sam for having a good, clean race today and making his way up into the top 5 so far.
Chad Chastain has his dreams set on catching John Emerson up in the number 1 good time Ford Falcon, and he's only a little over 3 seconds behind. And with on lap 32, he can do it, but he's going to have to push it. Last lap for Chad Chastain, a 119.47. Last lap for leader John Emerson, a 119.214. The rich get richer right now as our leader John Emerson tends to slowly grow his lead.
Closest battle on the track right now is Michael Yo, as he is still working on Matthew Burnett and
It's a great battle.
I was looking at the team, and I could have swore that was a multi-21, but it don't say multi-21, so I might have to go back and do some repairs there. But so that's because I'm looking at the wrong car. That's why.
But the battle right here between Michael Yo and Matthew Burnett. Matthew Burnett right now doing a fantastic job in that awesome new paint scheme. I'm talking about that may be one of my new favorite paint schemes. Definitely, if I'm talking about the new paint schemes, I love the Darrell Lee Ford Falcon right there that Matthew Burnett's running. That's one of my new favorites. Obviously, always one of my favorites, Nigel Baines' Spotty Dog Cake Marsden Ford Falcon. That looks sick too. Also with the GetDirtyMX.com on the back as well. And I've always liked the Can-Am Motorsports, but I can't include it because that looks like the exact same one he ran last season, so it's not a new one. Looking at some of the, and then John Emerson's isn't new either, so definitely my other favorite's got to be Bo Catel's new one. I like that one a lot as well.
Yeah, the reds and the blacks always look so good together, so red and black cars always seem to go to the top of my favorites list.
Yeah, definitely so. Oh yeah, I don't want to leave these guys out. They got a killer new scheme as well. Mark Anderson there in the new KRT Kamikaze Racing Team. I love that new paint as well. It's blue and red and black, and it looks really sweet there with the yellow Kamikaze coming down at an angle across the side of the car. That looks really good as well, Kane. So we got about five new paints this season so far, and they all look really good here on the track. But guys, here it is, lap number 34 in the race. We only have 40 laps till we're checkered, and this is how it runs. I'm just going to do a top 10 rundown real quick. In first place, John Emerson with about a 4-second lead over second place driver Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports Ford Falcon. Bo Cattell back, and Bo slides again. He's okay, keeps it. Those tires are shot there in third. Will he be able to hold on to the podium? We'll find out. We have Chris Stone coming up behind in fourth place. He is in the Overclockers Ford Falcon as you look on throughout the race. Sammy Collins there in the fifth position with Nigel Baines back in sixth. Michael Schrayer coming up in the 7th position with Sanjin Delilac in 8th. Mark Anderson not far behind is currently in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 currently is Matty Burnett. And I don't want to leave out Michael Yo, as he is in 11th place, and really a hot battle for the 10th position. This might be the battle to watch right now, Kane, is Michael Yo. He is right there with Matt Burnett. This is awesome.
Got a little bit of smoke from his tire as he comes so close to just bumping the back of Matthew just a hair, but he didn't hit him from what I could see. Just slid the tire a little bit. He's definitely putting the pressure on, and he's making sure that his car is as big as it can be in the rearview mirror of Matthew Burnett.
Yeah, looking really good. I was looking. Oh, John Emerson power sliding. Oh, man, that was crazy. He got off there for a second. Sorry, I thought he was going to get loose. He went off the track a little bit, but not bad there. That's that part we've seen Bo go off a few times. He's quite all right, though.
Let's take a look at a race recall replay, see if we can catch John in his power slide.
I thought it was he power slid through the corner there and then got into the gravel a little bit, that grassy area, and was able to save it. Really looked really cool. If you put that in slow-mo, that'll look awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That was a cool slide. Great save, too. So, nice job to John. It managed to keep it out in front, and he's back up to pace now, and still 1.3 seconds ahead of second place Chad Chastain.
And here we are on lap 35 of 40, guys, with 5 laps remaining. Can Chad Chastain start the 2014 season the way the 2013 one ended, with a win? Only time will tell. As 5 laps remain, can John Emerson hold off this Can-Am Motorsport driver, Chad Chastain, one of America's best V8 supercar drivers, and one of my top picks to win it all this year? This is going to be fun. See, John Emerson is on a mission, though, guys. See, he is looking good right now.
Michael Yo literally pushing Matthew Burnett around the corner. He is right on his bumper.
Boy, he's saying, you better race or get out of the way. Going side by side down the back straight. Michael Yo has a small jump, but not enough to gain the advantage. Can't tuck the nose in. And a good job by Matt Burnett to keep it out in front, to hold down the 10th position right now, winding through the turns and grinding the gears. This is awesome racing. White knuckle sweat going. Michael Yo going to get right back on that bumper cane. Here they go, going out into turn 1. Can he get an advantage jump? No. Michael Burnett shuts the door again. Great battle all the way through the entire lap. They have been going at it like this for about 5 laps, Kane, and it has just been really entertaining. Want to continue to keep an eye on this throughout the rest of the race.
4 laps to go at Mosport, and it has proven to be an exciting race. Every bit of as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Absolutely, 100%. I do have a little bit of sad news for Marty Carroll. He had to end his day with that wreck, and he will finish 17th there. Tough break for Marty Carroll. Yeah, we've seen some guys that we thought would finish up in the top have tough days. Our defending champ, Marlon McMullen, had that incident early in the race, and he's going to finish in 20th. And then you had Marty Carroll, and then you see Corey Preston. We've seen him race near the top a lot, and boy, he is 32 laps down right now in the garage. His day is done as well. So a lot of big names, out of the race, but a lot of big names up at the front right now. And I tell you what, doing everything in his power right now is Chad Chastain, trying to catch up to John Emerson somehow. He is pushing as hard as he can. Bo Cattell still back there in the 3rd position, and I think he may be safe. I know Chris Stone's trying to come up in a hurry. Last lap for Chris Stone, a 119.77. Last lap for Bo, a 119.54. So Bo just a tad bit faster. And I think Bo might have a podium on race 1 of the new season.
Yeah, 3 laps to go. If he can keep it on the track and keep that pace up like he's been doing, I think he can have it. He can definitely have the podium.
Man, Michael Yo is trying so hard to get around at Burnett, but what I love to see is this is the cleanest battle I've seen for such tight racing.
There goes to the inside. Is he going to get it around turn number 1? He tucks back in and tries to... He's trying to find a spot, but he just can't quite get enough momentum coming out of the turns to get up beside him. But this is a great battle.
If it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen in this part of the track right here, guys. Coming up in the next 2 turns, you'll see what I'm talking about. When they come up, I'll tell you, just watch. If you're watching the battle, this is where it's going to have to happen right here. You're going to have to get a good jump coming out of this turn right there. And see, he can't get the good jump because he's right behind. He's not going to be able to go any faster.
He definitely gets a better jump coming out of that turn than Matthew, but he's got nowhere to go because he's right in that race line. But he's going to try it again and go to the inside to try to get through him on this fast turn here, and he's just not going to risk it. It's way better to finish the race and finish in 11th than to knock the both of them out of the race. And that's what I like to see, a driver that's willing to keep it clean and just have a great race. And that's one thing that they've done, is provided a great race.
Yeah, they have truly battled all the way to the end. It looks like it's going to happen. I can't wait to see how this one unfolds. They are still right behind one another. Here we are, guys. It's lap number 39. Leader will come by. This time, John Emerson, and the white flag will be waving. This is what it's all about. Week 1 of the 2014 V8 Supercar America season right here, presented on V8's Online, and the white flag is out. We're on the first and last lap of the season, guys, and John Emerson leads the way.
Yeah, great race for John. The whole race was pretty flawless, with the exception of the one cool-looking slide around the corner that he was able to save really quickly and get back on the gas and get going. But pretty flawless. He's managed to stay out ahead of Chad Chastain and Bo Cattell. Chad did have a little stint there where he got out to a pretty good lead and was doing a great job, but the pit stops is what got Chad. I'm not sure what happened there, if it was an error entering pit lane or what, but the pit stops definitely what got Chad out of sorts, and it really cost him a lot of time.
Yeah, and with that, he was fighting everything he can to try to get up to John Emerson. He's just run out of time. He's running identical times to John Emerson, so he can't gain anything, Kane. He's just right there at the same gap, 2.5 mark he's been at for the past 10 laps. And it looks like right now we're going to have to throw out our congratulations the last few turns. Let's make sure. Oh, man, big curve there for John Emerson there. And the final turn at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Congratulations to the very first winner of the 2014 season. The good time Ford Falcon driver, John Emerson, will win the race 1 here at Mosport. Congratulations, John Emerson. Second place, Chad Chastain. Let's jump back real quick to Michael Burnett and Michael Yo to see who can win this battle to the finish.
Looks like Michael Burnett's pulled away just a little bit and put just a little bit of a gap between he and Michael Yo.
Yeah, I wonder if Michael got it just a little bit too aggressive in one of the turns trying to make the pass. But you know what? It still could happen. They still got a little bit of lap left, and it's going to happen in these last few turns. Can Mike Yo get a good way around it? It'll have to happen on this last turn. He just doesn't have it. Look at that. He gets a jump, though. Nope, not enough. Look at that. What a finish, as Michael Yo will finish 11th. Matthew Burnett will round out the top 10. What a finish by these guys. Well, as everybody's crossing the finish line once again, heading down towards victory lane, will be John Emerson in the good time Ford Falcon. In second place, finishing an outstanding race, is going to be Chad Chastain in the Can-Am Motorsports Ford. Bo Cattell will round out our podium in the Bridgestone Galaxy Note Ford Falcon, and Chris Stone, what a job by him in the Overclockers Ford to finish in 4th place. Sam Collins finishes in 5th. Nigel Baines, what a great start for the Marston Spotty Dog Cake team. They finished in 6th. Michael Schreier finishes in 7th. A good job by him as well. Sanjin Delilac there in the Volvo Altitude Ford there. Sanjin finishing in 8th. Mark Anderson with a great battle as well, finishing 9th. Matt Burnett finishes 10th, and that rounds out our top 10, Kane.
Yeah, and that was a great top 10. Jeez, what a great race that was for several of those positions. You know, and I'll say it again, I knew it was going to be a great season coming into this one, and these guys proved me right. And, well, you right too. You knew the same thing. But this season is definitely going to be one to watch. Probably the most intense V8 Supercars America season in V8 Supercars America history. So definitely tune in every week, Friday nights, here at V8's Online for these V8 Supercars America's races, because they are going to be intense.
And I don't want to leave out the rest of the guys either, because they had a great race as well. Look at, of course, we mentioned Michael Yo finishing 11th. I wanted to include him in the top 10. He deserved it. But look back there in 12th, as you had Chris Bowen finishing in 12th, Dave Maher finishing in 13th, Randolph Chenoweth there in 14th, Tony Klusterman in the Never Quit Racing Ford Falcon finishing in 15th, Graham Philin, finishing in 16th. I'm going to call him Bones all season. That's his nickname, and that's what I'm going to call him. 17th, this is for the unfortunate racers of the day. Marty Carroll, unfortunately, back in 17th, had that serious head-on incident there right by the start-finish line, ended his day. Aaron Passmore had the same kind of deal near the start-finish line. He got off track, damaged up the Pepsi Max Ford Falcon, and ended his day. He finished in 18th. Michael Fulcher, unable to finish as well, back in 19th. Marlon J. McMullen had his early race dramas and finished in 20th. Corey Preston in the HPR Ford had really early race dramas and finished 21st. That's how they ended up here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. What a fantastic job by all these drivers here. Truly impressed, Kane. It has been one great place to start a race. I have truly enjoyed this racetrack at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Ontario, Canada. Here, what a great place to see some racing up here in Bowmanville, Ontario. I'm telling you, this has been awesome. What a way to if you're going to have a 2.5 mile circuit, what a layout to have like here at Canadian Tire. This is awesome.
And it proved to be a pretty good track. It is a tough track. That turn 2, you can carry it just a little wide, and if you get out into the grass, you're along for the ride. It will carry you all the way out to the concrete barrier out there, and a lot of times your race will be over. But we've seen the skill of these drivers tonight that not too many people got off the track there in that turn, and made for some great racing.
Yeah, we had some great racing throughout this entire race, and it looks like we're going to have a few of the guys coming in for an interview or two. And first off is going to be driver that never quit racing Ford Falcon, and that's Tony Klusterman here first for driver interviews. Tony, first of all, congratulations on starting a brand new season, the 2014 season with the Never Quit Racing team, and glad to have you here on the show. It was fun watching you today, buddy. Finished back there in the 15th position. Had a scary moment there when you were letting the leaders by, but other than that, you were running really good today, bud.
Yeah, it was a tough field, JD. That was packed with all-stars, I'll tell you. So 15th place, started 15th or 16th, so I guess we'll call it even.
Yeah, buddy, not a bad start. I know, wanted to finish probably a little higher than 15th, but I'm telling you, you know as well as I do, Tony, this is going to continue to get harder and harder as the popularity of this season or this series continues to grow throughout the season. This has just been such an incredible series already, and already we're just seeing some brilliant names in this series. It's going to be very tough. Very tough. A lot of guys are going to be frustrated trying to catch that used to were getting top 5s. They're going to have a hard time catching top 10s now.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, JD. It is a tough field. Some very, very talented drivers out there. And as I said to you at the end of the last season, I'm happy to be in the top split. It's going to get me some experience, and maybe someday I can break into the top 10 too.
Absolutely, Tony. I know it's not far around the corner from you, buddy. I do want to ask you a question. I know you've started a brand new team at the Never Quit Racing team, and I know that you can announce your drivers as you please, buddy, but I want to know, are we going to see any of the other Never Quit Racing drivers in the V8 Supercar America Series this season?
It's entirely possible Greg Carr may be returning for a few races, and Farouk Manzar. Farouk is very, very quick. And then we have Glenn Sidman, so we may get Glenn in for the occasional race as well. Got a pretty strong team, pretty happy with it.
Okay, well, thanks for stopping by and talking with us, Tony. Always a pleasure talking to you, buddy. Best of luck to you in the rest of the season.
Thanks, JD. Take care.
I also want to say hi to Tony's wife who's watching. Hello, Tony's wife. Shout out
I'll
to
tell
the wife
Val
then.
that you said that. Yeah, okay.
Sounds great, buddy. And that is Tony Kloosterman, driver of the Never Quit Racing Ford Falcon. Next up, I want to talk to a really close friend of mine, Marty Carroll, driver of the Spotty Dog Cake Marsden Ford Falcon. Marty, what a tough way to end the day, buddy. Head on first with the inside wall near the start-finish line. Hit the, busted the motor up, it looked like. Oh, tell us all about it.
I would rather not. I'd rather concentrate on my teammate Nigel Baines, who run a really good race up there and finished in 6th position. But myself, yeah, I was running pretty solid in the top 10 there and having a good fight with Mark Anderson. And I just started pushing hard to catch up to Michael Schreier and Sam Jin because I was running on their pace. And yeah, you just drop that one wheel off, one mistake around here. And unfortunately, there's no grass on the inside there in the start-finish straight. So unfortunately, it ended my race. But all in all, happy for the team, happy with Nigel's result.
Yeah, me too. He did a fantastic job finishing up there in 6th place. I tell you what, though, Marty, we know you'll be fighting back real soon. We get the great news of the drop. Was it 2 drop weeks, I believe, Kane? And that can help for. Well, by goodness, we can just bypass this race altogether, Marty. No worries, my friend. And I tell you what, the new livery on the car looked fantastic this week. A big shout out to Nigel Baines for painting those up for the team as well. Can't wait to see you run next week, Marty. Best of luck to you next week, my friend.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys, and awesome job on the broadcast once again.
Whole world fell apart.
All right, thanks. And next I want to get in here Marlon McMullen, and that was Marty Carroll, driver of the Marsden Motorsport Ford Falcon. And Marlon, defending champion of the 2013 Season 4 season, you come in here to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, buddy, and unfortunately just didn't have the day you wanted to have, probably. But good to be back on the track nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not really the best way to start off the campaign of defending the championship, but, you know, these things happen. Most sports, or whatever it's called now, Canadian Tire track, is not really one of my best tracks out there. So, fortunately, lost pace at the end of lap 2. I had a really good start, made a few positions, and yeah, just lost pace on lap 2 and let Sanjin go. And I think I got a little bit spooked or something. I think our lines were a little bit weird going into the left-hander before Moss, and yeah, unfortunately plucked it back to second and the rear flicked out, and I was a passenger then and clipped the curb. And fortunately, when your 4 wheels off the ground, you can't really do much in trying to save it, and plucked it back in the first, and the rear's got a little bit excited, got to tap up the rear, and the rear suspension broke, and just not good.
Yeah, and that's and I'm glad to hear you're not too upset about it. But like we were just talking with Marty, 4 drop weeks, and so no worries. You know, plenty more weeks to fight on towards the championship again, buddy. Best of luck to you in the weeks to come in defending your championship. Definitely good talking to you, Marlon.
Cheers, guys. See you next week at Brands Hatch.
All right, absolutely, buddy. Once again, guys, that's your defending champion, Marlon J. McMullen. And next, I want to get in here, Chad Chastain, driver of the Can-Am Motorsport Ford Falcon. A killer job by Chad. What a great job. Battled really hard up there in 2nd place. We saw you lead for a little bit, Chad. First of all, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, JD. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, all the time. It's such great to see American driver always fighting at the front there for the win. And, boy, John Emerson had some serious speed today. And Bo Cattell, man, you 3 up there put on a great show for us. That had to be quite intense.
Oh, you got that right. I mean, that pass that I put on John, and then we ran side by side, and then he got me back. Yeah, that was just intense because, I mean, I was the sandwich pretty much that whole first stint.
That's right. That was really crucial. But it was really fun watching you guys. I tell you, it was just really a thrill to watch the top three. I tell you, you ended the 2013 season with a win and almost started your 2014 season with a win. You have to be proud. I know that you would have liked to have won today, but man, finishing second in race one, that's huge. You're already in second place in the point standings leaving the first week.
Yeah, I feel really good about the start of the season here. You know, you're right. I ended the season on a high note, and I wish there was no week 13 and we could just, you know, reset it and start all over. But I'm really happy to have that second place. John's a tier 1 talent, and to even be close to that guy at the end of the race is a real feather in my cap. But yeah, I couldn't be happier. Nice start to the season.
Absolutely, Chad. Well, thanks so much for coming by and talking with us, brother. We really look forward to seeing you at Brands Hatch next week. Best of luck to you in practice in preparation for the race.
All right, thanks, guys. See you there.
All right, thanks again, buddy. And that is Chad Chastain, driver of the Can-Am Motorsport Ford Falcon. Next, I want to talk to Corey Preston, and then I want to talk to Nigel Baines. Oh. And hey, that's all right, Nigel. Welcome to the broadcast, buddy.
Thanks,
fantastic job up there in sixth place. We saw you get all the way up to second place there right before you went into the pits for your pit stop. But what a great race there and a great start for the new team. Love to see it, Nige. What a great race.
Oh, thanks, JD. Yeah, I was pretty happy with that one. It was it was an intense race, and I think me and Sam there were no more than 2 seconds apart for the whole race. And to run up the front and be able to see Chad and John and Bo for so long was really nice too. Yeah. And then I just kind of settled into a bit of a rhythm and chipped away at Sam a little bit, and then he chipped a bit more back out of me. So yeah, just happy. I was so happy with that result. Chuffed a bit. Good one for the team.
Yeah, very good. I know Marty was a little upset with the way his race ended, but I told him we got 4 drop weeks and no reasons to worry. Yeah, Nigel put on a great score today, so the new team looking really good so far. And we look forward to seeing what you guys can bring at Brands Hatch next week, buddy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I say, that's it's kind of a home track. We're going to call it a home track for this season anyway for me. And hopefully, we can, come up with another good result. Anything in the top 10 with this series is going to be good. So, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Nigel. And next, Nigel Baines, ladies and gentlemen, driver of the Spotty Dog Cake Marsden Ford Falcon. And next, I want to talk to Corey Preston. Corey, how are you doing, buddy? Driver of the HPR Ford. How you doing today?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. Had some early race dramas and unfortunately was not able to finish the race here today. But like we were talking with Marty and with Marlon, Marlon's the defending champ and had a rough day as well. There is 4 drop weeks, so we can kind of let this one just fall to the wayside and move on to Brands Hatch.
Yeah, hopefully.
But telling you one thing, looking forward to next week at Brands Hatch. What kind of confidence do you have in that track? Is that a difficult track for you, Corey, or is it one of your favorites?
It's pretty good. It's one of my favorites. I did pretty good there last season in the Americas races. Yeah, it's a pretty good track.
Well, we can only hope for the best results from you next week, Corey. And I know that you want to put a good result on the board after having a rough start. You want to tell us a little bit about what happened today here at Mosport?
Yeah, I'm not really sure to be honest, but it sort of bogged down off the start lines like the double dip, and I managed to reset the throttle and clutch just as how I usually start, and I managed to somehow get level with Samuel Collins off the line still, and don't know where Marlon came from, but all of a sudden he was next to me, and I think Samuel was still beside Marlon, and I don't know what it was, but I think there was like a meter glitch hit or something, but my car just straightened up and went off the track and into the wall. So
well, best of luck to you next week, Corey. I know you hated. I hated to see that happen, and Kane hated to see that happen. But like I said, we'll move on to Brands Hatch next week, and best of luck to you next week, Corey.
Yeah, thanks guys. Lucky I've still got all the Aussie splits to race in. I suppose that's good.
Absolutely. Really happy to see iRacing making sure that the splits are done by iRating and not by location. So that's a big thanks to iRacing for doing that for us.
Yeah, you still got a few races left, so that this one won't hurt your points too bad. That's the great thing about there being as many Aussie splits as there is, that you don't just have these 2 shots Thursday and Friday with the America Series. You can go, and if this won't hurt your standings for the week too bad. You've got a chance to bring in some better points for the week.
Yeah, by my count, I've still got about four more races this week, just out of Sunday and Monday night.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes that I've seen they even do a even earlier one, but it's probably not as high of a SR on that earliest one on Saturday night, or what would be your Sunday night.
Yeah, but anyway, guys, I enjoyed watching the broadcast. Just had nothing better to do. But yeah, you guys are doing a really good job.
Thanks a lot, Corey. We sure do appreciate it. And like I said, Kane and myself both are so excited. Brand new season, week 1, 12 weeks of action. The best V8 Supercar America Series ever will be this season. Can't wait to see what is in store the next 11 weeks. If they're anything like this first week, we're in for a treat because we had some killer racing today, and I know Brands Hatch will be just as good next week. So if you're watching the race right now, make sure you tune in next Friday. We're going to close things up here in just a few minutes, but thanks again, Corey Preston, for coming by and talking with us, buddy. It's always a treat, and like I said, best of luck to you, Brands Hatch, next week, buddy.
Thanks, JD.
Thanks a lot. And that's Corey Preston, everybody, and HPR driver, always a good guy to talk to, and just a great sportsmanship driver, very clean driver, and good fast driver. So glad to see and talk to Corey. Until next week for him. But Kane, I really enjoyed this race, buddy. What a way to start the season. Once again, we want to congratulate John Emerson. Unfortunately, not able to get a word with him here today, but hopefully we will be able to get a word with him sometime next week or something like that. You know, when you get a big win to start the season, sometimes you get to celebrating, and that's all. That's all that matters right there, buddy.
Yeah, I also seen Yo in here just a little bit ago, and he must have ducked out of the room for a minute, but I was anxious to give him a congratulations on that fantastic race. Boy, that was a great race.
Boy, it really was. Him and Matthew really put on a show for us to watch, and at the end he just wasn't able to pass Matthew, but that's okay. He still put on a heck of a show for us, and really want to appreciate him for doing that. If he comes back before we leave, we'll throw in a quick interview, but I want to go ahead and throw down some of my closing thoughts. Number one is...
Well, we do got Yo here, actually. He just walked in.
There he is. Awesome. I sent him a little tap on the shoulder and said, hey, you're next. There he is. Go, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Michael Yo. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Oh, it's flaming hot out here, man. I'm sitting in the shed, and yeah, it's about 40 plus, but it was an awesome race.
Man, it truly was, and Kane was just talking about it. You put on a fantastic show for us, that tight battle there with Matthew there, and you guys were going back to back. I know you tried everything in your power to pass him, and almost did it several times. And you just needed another lap or two, buddy. I think you would have had it. But it was just such a good show put on and a great race by you today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was, yeah, respect to Matthew. It was just really good racing. And on the last lap there on the hairpin, I knew that the only chance I really had was to get real close. I got that close that we tapped, and that sort of just ended it on the final lap there. But look, it was fantastic fun, and just glad to finish in 11th.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, and with the growth of the V8 Supercar America Series, you know, with the growth that we've had, a top 10 is going to be like a top 5 was last season. So if you get a top 10 this year, you're going to need to be real proud of it. So you were right there, Edit. I think, like I said, when we were doing the countdown, I wanted to count you and Matthew up there in 10th place because you both deserve the top 10 for that performance, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I would just pity about Martin's engine going because, you know, on pace we were probably going to reel him in and then have a really good battle at the end. But yeah, when the smoke was going around turn 1, it made it a little bit hard to see. But that's a bit unfortunate for Marty.
Yeah, I hated to see that for Marty as well, but if there's one thing we know about Marty Carroll, he will be back, and he will be battling, so I'm sure we'll be seeing him battle real hard next week at Brands Hatch. Speaking of Brands Hatch, you know, we head out there next week for the V8 Supercar Americas Series, and we can't wait to see Michael Yo run out there, buddy. Is that one of your good tracks, or is it going to be a challenge for you?
I actually like Brands Hatch. It's similar to this one here, and yeah, I like the layout of it, and yeah, I seem to do, you know, relatively well. Just keep it on the black stuff in between the white lines, and hopefully have a reasonable finish again.
Yeah, that's right. Brands Hatch has a nice flow to it. It has a really good rhythm. If you get in a nice rhythm there, you can do very well. So it's good news to hear that that's a good track for you, Mike, and we can't wait to see you run next week, buddy. Thanks for coming by and talking with us here on the show.
Congratulations on the finish last week at the Race of Champions. You had a great run there, too.
Oh, that was just nervous. That was so nervous for me. My mic dropped out when we were doing the interview, and yeah, Brooksy was probably explaining to JD there that I was a bundle of nerves, and my foot started tapping, and I just yeah. But yeah, it was really cool to get into the RSE and get as far as I got. So I'm really really happy about that, and just can't wait for something next. You know.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. Really enjoyed broadcasting the Race of Champions as well. That was really a treat, and I'm not gonna lie, man. You shocked me. You did such a good job. Really, really good job.
Yeah, cheers. I shocked myself as well, but yeah, bring on more.
Well, best of luck to you. Thanks a lot again, buddy, for coming by and chatting with us after the race. Take care, and best of luck to you, Brands Hatch, next week, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Tony, and TK, we'll catch you at Brands.
Absolutely, buddy. That is Michael Yo, ladies and gentlemen, and a fantastic job. He was able to finish 11th. And Kane, that was what a way to start the season, guys. You know, we come in here and everybody's got their points set at 0, and now we have a little bit of a scale set up now. We have positions, and it's in the books. The first week is in the books, and the guys can relax for a couple hours, and then it's back to practicing, Kane. They're going to be heading out to Brands Hatch next week, and what a week it should be for the guys. Brands Hatch can be a hectic place for certain drivers. I don't know why, but some drivers have just always had a hard time with Brands Hatch, and
it's
some
a skinny
drivers.
Track. It don't seem like it's too awful wide, and some of those turns you carry so much speed through that it's really easy to wash off wide and end up with an off track. And with the 17 incident count limit before disqualification, that could be a challenge for some of the drivers next week.
It is. Some drivers thrive and some have a difficult time. I mean, you look at it on paper and it doesn't seem to be a difficult track. It's 9 turns, 2.3 miles in distance. Very, very similar to what we raced today in the 2.5 mile 10-turn track. But it is very different in the fact of what Kane just said. It's a narrower track. It has, you know, it just can be tough, and that's what we're going to see. It'll be fun to see how the guys race next week. I think we're going to see some more tight battles next week from a lot of the big names in the series. But, Kane, any final thoughts before we close down the show and head on to next week, buddy?
Well, my only final thought is just how great of a race it was tonight, and how great it's going to be from this point on. The racing is just going to be intense. Brands Hatch is going to be a fantastic track to go to next week. We got some great drivers coming into the series, and I wish I could have got some details on Split 2 for you guys, so that I could have let everybody know how the Split 2 went, because the Split 2 is going to be some great racing going on too. So hopefully in the future I can find out some of that information to pass along to everybody after the race as well.
It is, Kane, and I'm glad you said that. And I want to challenge everybody that watches the broadcast to go by the iRacing forums, go to the V8 Supercar America series. I know Kane has has a thread going there. Then guys like Mike Budzine and them always post the results from each split. So go by there, check it out. And I know that Kane and myself, we both post on there quite frequently, and you can always catch us at v8online.com.au, and you can also catch us on YouTube as well. So make sure you guys keep up. Tell your friends about the broadcast if you enjoy it. The more the merrier. That's what's made this league grow, is the great people that are involved, and that's what you saw here today. So thanks a lot for everybody that has already shown their support for this broadcast. We truly do appreciate it. I know I speak for Kane and myself both when we say thank you so much for showing your support in this broadcast. We love doing it. And Kane, that's it for me for the week, buddy. I'm ready to head on to next week already.
Yeah, that's it. Great show. Great racing, guys. It was great to watch. And don't forget to visit facebook.com/V8s Online to get any of the latest information regarding V8s Online or the V8 Supercars, the iRacing V8 Supercars, whether it be the V8 Supercars America Series or the Australian Series. You'll find all that information at facebook.com/V8s Online.
That's right, and the website's down there at the lower left side of your screen as well if you need the visual. And guys, make sure you like it. Go by V8s Online and like it. The more likes, the more people that get to see us, and the more this thing grows. And that's what it's all about, is getting this awesome racing out to more people. I know ever since I've been able to see it, it's made, it's awesome that before I found it, I was like, where was I at? How come I didn't know about this? And thanks to people that like stuff, and it got me to start watching it because of Kane. He's the one that introduced me to the V8 Supercar America Series. And it just continues to grow, and it's just such an amazing series. So we'll be back next week, guys. This has been V8s Online presenting the V8 Supercar America Series. I'm JD Smith with Kane Kraft beside me. Great friend he is, and very excited for some things that we have coming up down the line. But next we'll be presenting our show live at the same time next week on the same place. We'll be live from Brands Hatch, guys. In the meantime, y'all have a great night.
Don't forget to subscribe and to like this video. That will help it in the video ranks. For every like that it gets, it will become a little bit more popular, and that makes us happy. So like the video, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.